Oh, now it's on. Okay, so what I was saying was, well, first off, since we starting again, hold up, let me get this out the way. Since we starting again, I want to say happy Sabbath to everybody. Happy Sabbath AM. And we out here, we about to read this Ecclesiastes chapter 1. I got it I got it pulled up on the web screen for y'all, but I got my book right here, so just in case y'all see me looking down or something. But yeah, we're gonna get into Ecclesiastes because usually I got this little spin the wheel thing. Last time it told me to go to Acts, so I read Acts, just finished that up, and now I'm in Ecclesiastes. So we're gonna start in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, and Ecclesiastes is written by Solomon, son of King David, the wisest king to ever rule, wisest man to ever walk this earth, aside from Jesus, for real. So, Ecclesiastes 1 and 1, it says, the words of the preacher, the son of David, king of Jerusalem. So, you see that, this is the words of the preacher, which is the son of David, who will be Solomon. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanity of vanities. All is vanity. So he's pretty much saying like everything is vain. It doesn't really mean anything in this world. What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? So all the work that we do every day, like to what end is it? One generation passeth away, and another cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. So we got generations passing by, one generation passing away, another one coming up, but the earth is still here. It's still just doing what it's been doing, being earth. You got the sun. The sun still does what it does for generations. The sun's been doing the same thing since my ancestors, my great grandma was living. Sun's been still doing the same thing since her great grandma was living. Sun's been doing the same thing since their great grandma was living. So the sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about to the north. It whirleth about continually. The wind returneth again according to his circuits. So we don't even know how the wind works, but we know that God got, I guess, circuits to the way I think of it is like you ever put a Hot Wheels track together, and it's all different twists, turns, and loops. Well, that's what I'm getting out of these circuits. But let's define circuits real quick. Circuit: a roughly circular line, route, or movement that starts and finishes at the same place. Okay, so I guess when, like, going back to the Hot Wheels example, like, I guess this wind, it starts at one place, goes, but then ends up at the same spot. So so it says, the wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. So yes, these circuits are probably that's probably how the wind works. All right. Verse 7. It says, all the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Man, the river's been running into the sea for like quite a while. Like like the the Nile River's been here since the Egyptians were like the main ruling power of this world, and it's still here. You know, and the sea hasn't gotten full of the water that comes from the river. The sea is still pretty much the same level at all times, unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. So yeah, you get rivers and they come from the water that comes from the sea, but they also end up back in the sea again. All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. So like out of everything, like we ain't tired of seeing things. We ain't tired of hearing things. You know, like nobody's heard so much that they just be like, I don't want to hear anything anymore. Nah, all things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing. So like, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure, every day we wake up, we want our eyes to be working. You know, like we don't just spontaneously be like, you know what, I want to go blind. No, we don't do that. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. So like, the term history repeats itself. Like history does repeat itself. History goes on and on. But and it says the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And like you think of examples biblically, like think of the book of Exodus. The Lord brought the children of Egypt, the children of Israel, up out of the land of Egypt because of the oppression and stuff that they were going through, and led them into their own land. But you go to flip to Deuteronomy 30 real quick. Deuteronomy 30 says, "And it shall come to pass when all these things have come upon thee, the blessing and the curse. The blessing being when Israel was ruling, the curse being when we got scattered off as slaves, which I have set before thee. Thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee, and shalt return to the Lord thy God, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul. That then the Lord thy God shall turn thy captivity, and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee." So, like just like the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt, and because the oppression that was going on there, he said he's gonna do this with the whole world, like out of and take them out from all nations where he scattered them at. So like that's one thing, one example of how history repeats itself. But let's see this Jeremiah 16 real quick. Let me see what that's talking about. Because I really want a specific one. Okay, I think it's Isaiah 11. Usually I could think of a verse, and certain words of the verse just be in my head, but I can't pinpoint where it is. So I just be typing out the words that prominently are in my mind. But let's go to this, flip to this Isaiah 11. Lem. Okay. So, well, guess I could do this, and we're gonna look at the whole chapter real quick. Well, not the whole chapter, but at least from verse 15. Mm, okay, let's start this at verse 4 first. Okay, you know what? We're gonna read the whole thing. Okay, so it says, "And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots." This is talking about none other than Jesus right here. This is talking about none other than Jesus, cause he is the stem of Jesse. He comes out of the seed line of Jesse. Like David was the son of Jesse, and so many generations later, Jesus comes out of that same bloodline. So this is talking about Jesus, and it says, "And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord." Right? Verse 3, "And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Lord. He shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and full and faithfulness the girdle of his reins." So now we reading back in verse 4. It says, "In righteousness he's going to judge the poor, and reprove the equity with equity for the meek of the earth. And also he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked." So now he got war going on, but he's killing people with his words. How do you do that? But right after that fighting though, it says in verse 6, "And the wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid." So now you got wolves laying down with lambs. You got leopards lying down with goats. You know, and calves, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. So now you got all these animals. You got these kind of tame animals, and you got these wild beasts. But after that time, even a child can lead them, because they're not gonna bring, they're not gonna be deadly anymore. You know, they'll literally be cohabitating. And in verse 7 it says, "And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. The suckling child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord God, as the waters cover the sea." Now verse 10, "And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse," still talking about Jesus again, "which shall stand for an ensign to the people of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time." Okay, so this is that history repeating itself, like what did Ecclesiastes say? It said, "That thing which hath been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." So now we're taking that train of thinking and thinking about the Exodus, when the Lord brought the children of Israel out of Egypt. But let's go back to Isaiah. It says 11 and 11, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time," history repeating itself, "to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and he shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So now, this is the Exodus going on again, but like this is the Exodus going on again, but we don't have like we're coming from all over the world though, instead of just in one isolated spot. And then let's skip down to verse 15. It says, "And the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind shall he make his hand, shall he shake his hand over the river, and smite it in the seven streams, and make men go over dry shod." So like just how Ecclesiastes said, the thing which hath been is the thing which shall be. He split the Red Sea for these folks, and he said he's gonna smite the seven streams and make men go over dry shod. So he sounds like he's gonna split the sea again for this people, but bring them from all over the earth this time. Like Egypt was really just a microcosm. Like he's bringing us from America, Jamaica, Haiti, South America, Brazil, Canada, you know. And this is just on the western side of the world. We ain't even talking about the east right now, but it did lay out some of the countries in the east over here. You know, um, Assyria, Egypt, Pathros, Cush, Elam, Shinar, Hamath. So those are eastern countries, or well, those are countries. They ain't continents. But hold up. Let me just check on the stream real quick. We just trying to check this out real quick. Okay, cool. Bet. I just wanted to make sure y'all can still hear. That's it. Um, but let's go back to this Ecclesiastes though. Going back to that Ecclesiastes, you know. Okay, so where were we? Where were we? Where were we? We was at verse 9. The thing that hath been is the thing which shall be, and the thing which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, "See, this is new"? So can anybody just come up to you and be like, yo, this is new. Like I've never seen this before. My grandparents ain't never seen it before. Like we may have things in this world that folks in other generations haven't seen, but the concept is still old in its entirety. Like phones, phones may be new to somebody that's like 200 years old, but hey, they'll probably tell you about a telegram or something. But it's still the same concept though, but just furtherly executed. Like they done got to a point with it where instead of manually having to send these messages, oh, now we can just do it remotely. So it says, "Is there anything whereof it may be said, See, this is new? It hath been already done of old time, which was before us." So like he's saying, like it's already been done in the old days. Like ain't nothing new. There is no remembrance of former things, which shall Neither there is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. There is no remembrance of former things. So we don't remember the things that happened ages ago. Neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those things that shall are to come with those things that shall come after. So like in this train of thinking, like let's think of the end of the world, right? Like like great tribulation and stuff like that. We ain't even gonna remember that once the thing that after that shall come after, which is like, the 1,000 years of Jesus reigning on this earth. We ain't gonna remember no great tribulation like that. It ain't gonna be a thought in our mind for real. Like we're focused on the new thing. Oh, we got Jesus on the earth. We got powers. We ain't thinking about all the death and destruction that done went on prior. Cause what it say? It says, "There's no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those things that shall come after." So like, the things that come after the whole death and destruction. We ain't gonna remember the death and destruction. And verse 12 it says, "I, the preacher, was king over Israel and Jerusalem." So now we we can still clearly see that we're talking about Solomon, because Solomon was king right after David. And it says, "And to seek I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath God given to the sons of men to be exercised therewith. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, it is all is vanity and vexation of spirit." So he's saying like, look, I don't seen everything that's been going on in this earth, and it's all vain. Like it really doesn't matter at the end. And like it'll tell you in the last book of Ecclesiastes, like the only thing that we really gotta do is fear God and keep His commandments. That's the whole duty of man, you know. Because he said, like, I've seen the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Like all this stuff ain't doing nothing. Like like what Kendrick Lamar say, you know, he was like, "I am not your savior." You know, like you can like everything all these rappers is doing, they ain't gonna save you though. Everything like some musical artists can be putting out some good music, talking about some good things, but they ain't gonna be the ones that can save you. You might have your favorite YouTube personality or something, but they're still not gonna save you in the end. You know, that's why it says, like, I've seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight. That which is wanting cannot be numbered. So, like, well, that kind of sounds self-explanatory for real. And it says, "And I commune with mine own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate. I've gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem." And it actually did. Like, if I could find it real quick, uh, I wonder if it's in Chronicles or something. Okay, okay. So Second Chronicles 1. I'm gonna flip over there for y'all real quick. Oh, you can use this. Okay, so Second Chronicles, right? And Okay. So let's start at verse 7. It says, well, hold up. Let me look back a little bit. Okay, so beforehand I'm reading in First Chronicles. First Chronicles 22 and 29 and 22. And it says, and David said unto all the congregation, now bless the Lord your God. So this is before, right before David died. Now bless the Lord your God, and all the congregation blessed the Lord God of their fathers, and bowed down their heads and worshipped the Lord and the King. And they sacrificed sacrifices unto the Lord, and offered burnt offerings unto the Lord. And on the morrow after that day, even 1,000 bullocks, and 1,000 rams, and 1,000 lambs, with their drink offerings and sacrifices in abundance for all Israel, and did eat and drink before the Lord on that day with great gladness. And they made Solomon, the son of David, king the second time, and anointed him unto the Lord to be the chief governor, and Zadok to be priest. Then Solomon sat on the throne. Then Solomon sat on the throne of the Lord as king instead of David his father, and prospered, and all Israel obeyed him. And verse 25 says, and the Lord magnified Solomon exceedingly in the sight of Israel, and bestowed him such royal majesty as had not been on as had not been on any king before him in Israel. Right. So now let's go back to the chapter at hand, and it says, Second Chronicles chapter 1 verse 7. You got Solomon. He's praying to the Lord, and it says, in that night God did appear unto Solomon, and said unto him, he said unto him, ask what I shall give thee. So like, ask me anything, and I'm gonna give it to you, pretty much. And Solomon said unto God, thou hast showed me great thou hast showed great mercy unto David my father, and has made me to reign in his stead. Now, O Lord, let thy promise unto David my father be established. For thou hast made me king over people like the dust of the earth in multitude. Like dang, Israel is just like the dust of the earth. Like, you go outside and pick up a handful of dirt. Can you count every single speck? Nah. But that's how great, in multitude the children of Israel are. And it says, you made me a king over people like the dust of the earth in multitude. Give me now wisdom and knowledge, that I may go out and come in before this people. For who can judge this thy people that is so great? And God said unto Solomon, because this was in thine heart, and thou asked not for riches, wealth, or honor, nor the life of thine enemies, neither yet asked for long life, but has asked wisdom and knowledge for thyself, that thou mayest judge my people over whom I have made thee king. Verse 12. Wisdom and knowledge is granted unto thee, and I will give thee riches and wealth and honor, such as none of the kings have had that have been before thee, neither shall be any after thee have the like. So now you got, Solomon asked for wisdom to judge the people, and the Lord's like, because you didn't ask for riches or the life of your enemies, or a long life. I'm gonna give you that wisdom, and I'm gonna give you the riches, you know, and the power to go along with it, because you're wise enough to handle it. But that's why it says in verse 16, I commune in my own heart, saying, lo, going back to Ecclesiastes, by the way, Ecclesiastes 1. It says, and I commune with my own heart, saying, lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge, and I give my heart to know wisdom, and to know madness and folly. For I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. Because it's like the more you know the more you know the truth, and especially like because when you know the truth, right? It's like you got a whole lot of you got a whole lot of ugly truths that you still have to deal with. Like the truth isn't just gonna ain't just gonna be like ain't I know like the book says the truth is gonna set you free, but the truth is also just gonna be like I think what's his name? I think it might be Jeremiah. Jeremiah said that this word was like a fire shut up in his bones. Like he had the ugly truths, and the Lord was tell these people these ugly truths, and he was getting persecuted for it. So Jeremiah was like, you know what? At this point, I'm not even gonna say anything to these people, but he still had that truth in him, and he said like it was a fire shut up in my bones. Like I couldn't keep it in. It was hard to really keep it in, even though I wanted to, shut up about it because of the persecution that was going on. But he said, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increases knowledge increases sorrow. Dang, that's deep. But I think I might end it here. It's about to be what 12:18, and gotta get to church for the Sabbath, y'all. Gotta get that holy convocation in. So I pray that y'all got some understanding, and I pray that I can see y'all again later on tonight. In Jesus' name.